I haven't actually taken a picture of Gamora for a while. She hadn't had a bath in 3 months. But, I'll get around to it. Right now, I'm just happy this is done. Oh. Ugh. Yes. Okay. Tell you what all I got going on here. I need to get more of the black loom stuff. I got sold by Napa on heat, the more expensive kind, and this stuff absolutely sucks compared to the kind I was getting at AutoZone. It melts, and it's supposed to last longer, or be heat resistant, whatever. Anyway, so I cushioned the radiator a little bit. I rewired everything. That's one particular ground for that fan, and then I got another ground over there for that fan. Then I put a relay box with relays and fuses, so everything is fused and relays. I got a 16-inch. Well, you can't kind of see it from this side. There you go. I got a 16-inch pusher, and it is running off of this switch in here. So I got this switch runs that big 16-inch. The other two 12-inch fans are running off of a 195 sending unit, and I got a AM/FM 8-track from a Corvette with a CB, but it needs work, so that's another project for another time. Yes, my clock kind of works, needs adjustments all the time, but yeah. Anyway, so I got a lot of gauges and just too many. But whatever. I am OCD about my engine. I want to make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do. So I've got two RPM gauges. That big one, the shift light, and the Bosch. Both of those work. I noticed the Bosch is a little off. This one, okay, here's something weird. Hasn't worked in all its life. When I had the MSD on it, because it's plugged in now, when I had the 6AL on it, this one read 6,000, that one read 6,000, and that one read 6,000. Now, the MSD wasn't behaving, but that's the first time I've ever seen that sucker move, so that was quite interesting. I don't know what was up with that. Maybe it'll start to work one day. I'm not worried about it though. Speedometer works. Looks like I've got about 6,000 miles since my rollover video. If you ever watched that one, that was like 6 months ago, but I've had a lot of downtime. Anyway, what all do I got in here? That's not connected yet because I'm waiting on an MSD distributor. But I do have, this was fuel, but I learned a valuable lesson. Never put a fuel gauge for your temperature. Sending unit for water into the fuel. I put it on my regulator, it leaked. About, well, I don't know when it started leaking, but I noticed it when I was setting time and I saw a little drip and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I always keep one of these handy. So, but I should have known better than to put it on there. I just didn't think about it. So, valuable lesson learned. Do not run fuel or water coolant sending units in your fuel. So anyway, I wasn't too concerned about the fuel temperature anyway. I just had an extra gauge and apparently didn't have enough gauges. So anyway, then we got oil pressure here and oil pressure there. And this is mechanical and that's electronic. They both read the same. So I'm happy with it. This one bounces though sometimes, which is weird. But I got another one laying up there on my bench. I got a water temp and a oil. So if these ever go bad, I got a spare. Then voltmeter, because that's plugged in, but it never does anything. Boost, aka vacuum. Well, I have 2 ports, manifold vacuum. I didn't have a splitter and ported vacuum. Well, I got this sucker on ported vacuum. So unless I rev the engine, it's reading 0, which I'll get a splitter and split one of the vacuum ones so I can get this one reading vacuum all the time. And then I got the Chinese AFR. Well, this thing is flaky. It sometimes seems to work really nice, and sometimes it's just bizarre, and sometimes it just gives me voltage. And so whenever it's in the 13 range, which happens to be the AFR range you would be in, or 12 range, you have to look to see if this little light's on for volts, or you might not be even looking at an AFR reading, and I haven't figured out why it's so inconsistent. When it drops too lean or too rich, it flashes. Like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the long-term goal is weld the bung for the good brand and then get another one of these. So I weld the bung. This is a $20 unit. Big deal. I just wanted something during the break-in to keep an eye on things, which actually paid off. At one point, I was reading really lean, and I didn't know why. And it turned, and then Mike asked me what color my vacuum modulator was. So I crawl underneath the car, and I find my vacuum line was just ripped in half. I used a 44-year-old vacuum line to make a connection, and that affected my vacuum and caused this to be lean. Once I fixed it, then it seemed to be okay. What else do I got? Oh, and then there's my other water temperature sensor. Right now I have that one and that one going to the exact same sensor. It doesn't work very well, but initially that was my water and that was my fuel. Now this one is consistently reading properly, that I can rely on it. And I'm not sure where. I'll probably just get another sending unit for that, because you can't have enough apparently. CB radio, whoop-de-doo. But this is a cool feature. PA. And I got a speaker hidden underneath my oh, my keys aren't in the car. Oh shoot, I was gonna demonstrate, but whatever. Anyway, I put a speaker back here. Let me show you. Way up there. And so I can yell at people. I think that's cool. I got this booster on sale on Amazon like 2 years ago for like $189 for the combo. It's called Tough Stuff Corvette Combo Chrome 9-inch booster. Sometimes it's on sale for $300, sometimes it's $288, sometimes it's $188. It seems to fluctuate, and I don't know why. Yes, that air filter is choking my carb. I get it, but there's not much I can do about it because that hood is made for a big block. And a big block centers about right here. And which makes the edge of this be right here. And if I put a 14-inch, it doesn't fit. So, 'tis what it is. Now, at the track, I can just, take it off and then be at full power. But yeah, it's probably costing me 70 horsepower, and I'm probably not exaggerating. Let's walk around the other side. So, I ripped out my AC because, it just wasn't, it's just too much. And I knew the motor was going to run probably warm anyway, being a 400, so I didn't want to mess with it. That guy, bench test fine. And my wipers work with it there. And I got it all routed to work, but as soon as I plug it in, it's very inconsistent. The RPM jumps to 6,000, which happens to be about where my rev limiter is, and then it just cuts out, and it doesn't fire. It doesn't start. I haven't figured out why. I have a theory that maybe the voltage isn't right on it to begin with. My battery was low. I don't know. I don't know really what the problem is, but Mike Dyer seems to think it's this guy isn't compatible with that guy. So I'm just gonna suck it up, order a MSD billet distributor that has no problem talking to this guy, and then we will take it from there. And if that works, then the two-step will work, and then I'll put a toggle button on my brake, and with the toggle button on my brake, I'll be able to set the two-step to say 2100 RPM, floor the accelerator pedal with my foot on the brake with the button. I'm a left-footed braker because it's an automatic, and I'll put the button on the right. I'll smash the button and the brake at the same time, floor it. The car won't dip as much in the back because it'll be set. It'll start popping, light turns green, I let go of the brake, and bam! This rev limiter then kicks in, and whatever it's set for, my shift point, or my launch point, will get hit, say 50, 500 or whatever, and bam, it will hit that, and or 6,000 or wherever I set it to, and I will launch hard. I got 275/60 R15s on the back, and we'll do drag radials when it comes that time. Also Jared Justice came over, and we did these aluminum crush gaskets. They were like $30, but they are working beautifully, and I like them. And I got the Holly blue pump way back here, and it runs. I got the over here, and I got that terminated. The what do you call it? The return is terminated. Then we got braided line going to that filter. Oh, and I also have 100 micron, or was it 50 down there prior to the pump. And then we go to a standard Napa filter, and then to the voltage regulator, and then to the log. This is, I'm running around 6, which seems to be a happy point. The bowls I set up properly for my float levels, so you know how the car sits when it's level. I set those up. When I built this carb, I put jet extensions in the back and in the front to keep the fuel, because when you're accelerating, the fuel goes like this, and the front bowl, you don't want extensions because then you'll be pulling air. But on the secondary, you definitely want extensions, and those extensions will push the wait, do I got this backwards? Yeah, accelerate. Yeah. So those extensions would, if without them, you'd be pulling in air or foaming your fuel. So the extensions extend the jets farther into the fuel. Then of course, I calculated the jetting, and I can't remember exactly what I used. And I built me another 600 over here for my son's Nova. Anyway, so, oh, and I got a 50cc primary pump right there, and a 30cc secondary, and that may need to be a 50cc too. We will see. What else have I done? And will do. Well, that's enough. It's a 15-minute video, so for those who are really interested, thank you for listening this long. And if you think it's too long, well, don't watch the next one. This be Gamora. And in case you didn't know her name. Oh, here's one more thing. Wiring. So, I need to go to Napa and get more of this stuff I told you up front. I was running low, so I got piecemeal pieces, and I need to wire it better, I know, but hey, it's unbubbled as you can get, considering you got 1,000 freaking wires, and you know, each one of these has a ton of wires. So we got like 5 wires on that one, 6 wires on that one, you know, 3, and 4, or actually 2 on that one. And then the MSD's got a bunch of wires, then all this has got wires. So cable management, fun. But I did my best to keep it where I could, at that, you know, at some point, get, what do they call this stuff? Wire loom, and at least hide the wires themselves with wire loom, and that'll look a teeny bit better. I'm a skinny guy, so I don't have any problem with the accelerator or any of this stuff getting in my way of my knee or anything. Plus I got tilt steering, which helps. Need to fix that. Alright, well, thanks for listening. This is my Corvette.